Welcome to Pit Stop. So this is where we're going to go around the SoCal area checking out restaurants that you should check out on long journeys. Today we're on Main and 9th in downtown Newhall checking out the Way Station that was established in 1971. Is Andres joining us today?
He should be soon, maybe.
Well, he's not here. Nice bike. BSA, huh?
Yep.
What year is it?
1963.
It's cool.
Straight out of the 60s.
Yeah.
Most of it's original, actually.
Looks like it. It looks really cool. I love the gas tanks on old motorcycles. They have so much character.
Yeah, you know what I like about it? I can, jump right, go.
You can see yourself.
There you go.
What cc?
350cc single.
Ouch, that's not great, especially from 1963, you said. So
Yeah.
is the tailpipe original?
Why do you have to do that? No, it's not. The person who owned it before me put on this janky scrambler pipe.
Here's the thing though, I've seen a lot of these with scrambler pipe.
Yeah, it was a common modification because the scrambler model was more expensive, but you could get the pipe for it, so people just...
I was gonna say, because I thought that they used to go with that.
They do,
Everything.
and I'm in the process of converting it back to the original.
Hey, but it looks really original.
And the only thing that's not original on it is the... What?
Can you read that for me?
No, I can't. I need my glasses.
It says Lucas on it.
Oh,
You
it
know what
does.
that means?
It's crap?
Yeah. Well, I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's go eat. I need to get something like that for my motorcycle.
I do like the old license.
See, Andres, what I was thinking about doing is getting one of those old black and yellows for my truck. Because you can get those as
I
heritage.
know, there's just a lot of fees every year.
Well, no, see, that's what I'm not sure about. If it's $50 upfront, period, I'm getting it. Like, I wouldn't mind doing that. That would be awesome.
I think we looked it up, and I think it was.
Well, no,
average
on it's very vague. So what I was gonna do is ask somebody like, hey, I have a question. Are you paying $50 more on your registration fee because of the license plate?
Well, just go into like AAA or whatever, your insurance, because you can get them through, or the DMV or whatever, just call and ask. Or
See, I don't have AAA, so.
Oh, you don't?
well, when I go and get mine, because I am going to do it no matter how much money it costs, I'll tell you.
The most hilarious traffic stop I've seen though is in Switzerland. Swiss cops are something
You
else.
should tell this story. Okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so in Switzerland, I was on vacation with my family, and my dad was driving, and we were on the highway, and obviously, we don't know what most of the road signs mean. And
Yeah, they just let you drive in
we're on the highway, and all of a sudden we see every car turn off at the same stop. Every car is just turning off, right? And so we're like, okay, should we turn off? We ended up turning off, but we realized there's no way to get to where we want to go, where we turned off. So we got back on, and we're like, there's no roadblocks or anything, so let's just keep going, find out what happened.
And there are red lights
There were red lights over the freeway.
Over the freeway.
Right, so it was weird because there was this beam over the freeway like
Right.
this, and two red lights like this. They were like traffic stoplights, but they
Right.
were sideways, so we didn't know what that meant. We don't have traffic stoplights on the freeway
Right.
in the United States. So we didn't know what that meant, so we just kept driving. And we get into this tunnel. And up ahead in the tunnel, we start seeing flashing lights, and we're like, that's not good. So we decided to keep going. And then at some point, we're like, maybe we should turn around. And we got to where the flashing lights were. There were 3 cars in front of us. They were all rental cars.
None of them were Swiss cars, by
They
the way.
were all rental cars in front of
They
us.
were all like EU license plates.
And so we pull up behind them, and we're stopped, and we see cops that looked like there had been an accident in front. So there were, barricades.
What happened was a hay truck fell over. Because cows need their hay.
So we see a cop at the front window talking to the front driver, and we're like, this is not good. So we start to back up and try to turn around, and the cop just whistles at us, points at us, and says, get back. Like, okay, so we go back into his spot.
Well,
we
he
wait.
didn't say get back. He said something angrily in German.
Right, obviously, yeah, he was speaking German, and so we get back, we wait.
So he said something angry.
Right, he basically, it was with the finger. He pointed at us, and we're like,
Gave you the finger.
The cop finger.
right.
The cop finger, not the California hello.
Yeah, so we go back to our spot, and we see the other cars pull off, and it looked like they'd been getting tickets. So we're like, uh-oh, this is not good. And so the cop comes to our window with a big beaming smile on his face, and he says, "So you ran a red light. That'll be, what was it, 50 francs
So
or
this is
something
what
like that?"
this is what he said. So in Switzerland, it is illegal to run a red light. That is what you did back there because you are here, and back there was a red light. So that'll be 150 francs.
That's what it was.
And
With a big beaming smile.
yeah,
on
he's
his
just
face.
like that'll be 150 francs. And we're like, okay, well, he's like. We're like waiting for him to give a ticket, and he's just standing there. He's like, "That'll be 150 francs."
He said cash or card. He actually, at some point, he was like, "Would you like to do cash or card?" And we're like, "Hold up, wait a minute, we're not getting a ticket." He's like, "No, you pay here." And then we're like, "We don't have enough cash." He's like, "Well,
We take credit card."
We take credit card. So that he has like those things that
Yeah, the
restaurants
portable.
have. They just put the chip in. He just put the chip in, took it out, handed it back to us, handed us a receipt. So we came up with the theory that Swiss cops don't give tickets; they give receipts.
In Indiana, I have proved that the theory of the guy in front of me was going faster doesn't work. My friend was driving because we went around, across the country, and in my bright red Mercedes, we were driving about 75, and all of a sudden a work zone popped out of nowhere, and a cop was sitting right behind the beginning of the work zone sign. So there was like literally zero time to slow down, and the guy in front of us was probably going about 80, 85. We passed by the cop and we're like, okay, we're getting a ticket. He pulls out behind us. It doesn't turn his lights on, like follows us for like a quarter of a mile or something. Pulls out behind us, turns on his lights, speeds way ahead, pulls over the guy in front of us, right? And we're like, we didn't get a ticket, cool. He pulls the guy over, jumps out of the car into the middle of the street, and starts pointing us over. So we pulled over two guys at once.
That's some
Yes,
impressive.
yes.
So the
Yes,
theory
yeah.
of the guy in front, I don't think they can do that in California though.
They
They
can't.
can.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it
They
happen.
can't.
Yes.
And she has the rest, the Thursday special pancake sausage scramble,
Did you get sausage or bacon?
I got sausage.
Okay, I also got sausage.
toast, and that's yours.
Thank you very much.
Thursday special.
Right here. Thank you. That is a massive pancake.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow. Joe served last. Sorry, Joe.
It's all right. My meal's going to be much more glorious than all of yours.
Yeah, I was gonna say best for last, huh? No, Leo's like, nah, I like salt and pepper on my pancake.
I made my eggs first, you know.
Speaking of the 1960s, rode my 1963 BSA B40 here, which is pretty, I don't know.
That's an accomplishment. You rode it about 2 miles and it didn't break down.
I know,
Well-
for something British of the time, ooh.
Well, see, we were talking about speed limits. That thing has a 350cc single-cylinder engine, which in
all the
California you need a 250cc minimum to ride on the freeway.
Right.
But that's by modern standards. That thing is from 1963. I think it has like 8 horsepower, and I think I've maxed it out at about 50 miles an hour. Going any faster than that on that bike, everything starts rattling, and I'm like,
Yes, no old things, unless they're done in a modern way.
and I wouldn't ride that thing on the freeway because, as Leo said, I think I've broken down probably at least 5 times a year.
I had to hook up a trailer, go out to where he was, and pick him up.
yeah.
No, I remember. 'cause
Yeah,
I
you were
went-
there.
I went with you one time.
The starting process on the thing is absolutely ridiculous. You know, there's you have to tickle the carburetor.
Ooh, tickle.
There's this little button where gas squirts out, and you know the carburetor's full. You have to position the cylinder to total dead center, and then you have to. It's a kick through, and
I believe it's not total dead center, it's top dead center.
something. It's called TDC, and you have to kick it through. There's no electric start whatsoever. There's no turn signals, and the headlamp is actually completely useless. As a matter of fact, if you turn on the headlamp, it kills the bike. It's common with British motorcycles. No one turns on the headlamp, and you can't ride them at night because as soon as you turn on the headlamp, the engine starts struggling because there's not enough electricity to be sent to the spark plug because everything on that electrical system is connected. You can't turn it on without the battery, and if the light bulb burns out, your motorcycle dies. they have two nicknames. One of them is, you're gonna have to bleep this out, but one of them is Bastard Stopped Again, and the other one is Bits Stuck Anywhere.
What was it? What's that thing in the manual that's actually written in the manual?
Occasionally, when you're stopped at a stoplight and you pull in the clutch and put it in first gear, it won't go into first gear because that bike has more neutrals than it does gears, which it has 4, by the way, 4 gears. So the manual says, quite cleverly, is if it doesn't go into first gear on the first attempt, to pull in the clutch, hold your foot on the shifter and roll the bike back and forth until it goes into
That's
first
written
gear.
in the manual.
In the manual. So
I
they're like-
want to know who figured that out and why and when they figured that out.
Because it was British. Because they literally, like, if something doesn't work, they'll find a way to make it
I know,
work.
it's like they don't take a problem and say, all right, let's take this apart and figure out why it's not working.
I mean, I'm
They just say,
imagining-
yeah, just kind
I'm
of
imagining like 2 guys in front of their house, like, Charles, the bike doesn't go into first gear on the first attempt. And, well, you know, Chuck, why don't you just, and they're apparently Chuck and Charles, why don't you just rock it back and forth a little bit, see if that does it? Aye, that does a trick.
Put that in the manual.
Put that in the manual.
All right.
Write that down.
Yeah. Well, nevertheless, we're giving British bikes a bad rap right now. However, they are the coolest motorcycles, I think. Some of the coolest, not
Your
the.
bike looks awesome. I love it.
No, it does look pretty good.
Well, like, I mean, there's no comparison between Triumph, you know, like Triumph and BSA. They all have beautiful bikes, whether or not they run, you know, but they're beautiful bikes. Like, that's how motorcycles should look.
This is what it's like to be going out with breakfast with all these guys.
Yeah,
You know.
we're pretty lame. We just talk about
We just literally talk
most of
about
our opinions are wrong too.
Well,
just keep that in mind.
How was the food?
That's what I was gonna ask. What did you guys think? I thought it was fantastic.
I
The
loved
coffee's
it.
great. The food was awesome. Very reasonably priced too.
Yeah.
I had, let's see, I had 3 slices of French toast, 3 slices of bacon, and 2 eggs, all for $9.
The core of this place, all the license. I really love the license plates everywhere and the sign.
Yeah, it looks good. We should
This
put
place
that
was-
for our studio.
cool plates that's literally right behind your head, Peter, for my truck.
This one?
No, the California one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just so cool.
I would say if you're on a long road trip and you find yourself in Newhall, I would say the way station is a great place. Great place to have a pit stop. Wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
I think
That
so.
was a cheesy line.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna cut that out.